What's up, it's Auto Handles, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Stephen Curry and the Warriors, but before I can get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's begin. The Warriors used to be a long-standing dynasty, but ever since Kawhi Leonard put a close to that chapter, things have been on a decline since. This isn't the same 2015 through 16 Warriors team that went 73-9, and with Klay Thompson no longer in a Warriors jersey, it's clear that the landscape has shifted. The NBA no longer has a dominant dynasty, though the Celtics could potentially become one. The past 6 championships have been won by different teams. The Raptors in 2019, the Lakers in 2020, the Bucks in 2021, the Warriors in 2022, the Nuggets in 2023, and the Celtics in 2024. So the 2025 title feels up for grabs. But when I think of potential contenders, I think of teams like the Celtics, Thunder, Knicks, Cavs, Mavericks, Rockets, Grizzlies, and Bucks. The Warriors, not so much. I'm starting to wonder if Steph Curry's championship window in Golden State has closed. I'd hate to see Curry lead the Warriors, and I hope it hasn't come to that. You see, the problem that the front office is facing is that they're trying to juggle too much. They're trying to build a contender around Curry while also developing young talent for the future. That rarely works. How can you develop young players if they're not going to get key minutes because veterans give you the best shot at winning? Most teams have to choose, either push to win now or focus on the future. Being stuck in the middle is often the worst place to be because you're not a true title threat, but you're also not getting high draft picks. And that's exactly the spot the Warriors are in right now. They're not true title threats, but they're also not getting high draft picks. If they really wanted to contend, they would have gotten Paul George. But the issue was that they were too attached to their young players, the young player in this situation being Jonathan Kuminga. Trade talks with the Clippers for Paul George ultimately fell through because the Warriors refused to include Jonathan Kuminga in the deal. That's a case of prioritizing the future over the present. It feels similar to Damian Lillard's situation in Portland. Lillard wanted to compete for a championship, but the Trailblazers were focused on planning for the future. Instead of trading the 3rd overall pick for a star like Lillard wanted, they drafted Scoot Henderson. It makes me wonder, what will be the last straw for Curry? Will it be the next time the Warriors pass on a star like Paul George or Jimmy Butler just to hold on to their future assets? The Warriors have a chance to make the right move and compete this season by making a trade at the deadline. They need to realize that finding the perfect player shouldn't be the priority. Right now, their idea of the perfect player is someone who fits seamlessly into Steve Kerr's system, a system built around setting a billion picks in order to free Curry up for threes. When pursuing trades, the Warriors need to be more willing to part ways with their younger players in exchange for someone who can help Steph win right now. It also feels like there's some disconnect between Steve Kerr and the front office. The front office's moves suggest that they're focused on developing young talent for the future, but Kerr doesn't seem interested in that and just wants to win now. Look at Jonathan Kuminga, for example. Kerr seems to want him to just be a robot that runs and dunks. There's rarely a moment where the offense shifts away from running everything through Steph. Kerr insists on having Draymond Green handle the ball while the rest of the team's job is just to get Curry open. At no point does Kerr say, "Pause, go get a bucket," or "Kuminga, take your man one-on-one." The team feels robotic and unnatural, like everyone's just waiting for Curry to shoot as if he's the only one allowed to. No one on this roster seems bold enough to step up and take control to think, maybe it doesn't always have to be the Steph Curry show. There's a lack of confidence, likely because it feels discouraged. But I don't think Curry's the one holding them back. I think it's Steve Kerr. That's probably why things didn't work out with Jordan Poole. Poole was different. He was a rebel. He didn't fit into the system because he wanted to create his own shot. He wanted to be Curry, pulling up for contested deep threes early in the shot clock. When it worked, he was a hero. When it didn't, everyone turned on him. Remember that game against the Grizzlies? The Warriors were up by 2 late in the game, and instead of passing to Curry, Poole ignored him, took the shot and missed. Curry, frustrated, threw his mouth guard and got ejected. That moment summed up the team's attitude towards Poole because he wasn't willing to play by their rules. Ironically, Poole ended up sealing that game for the Warriors, scoring off an inbounds play. That ending should have been a wake-up call, proof that not everything has to stick to the old formula. Poole could have brought his own flair to the team, but instead he got traded. Why? Because veterans like Draymond, who were fully bought into Kerr's system, didn't like Poole doing things his own way. I'm not making this up, because just look at the moves that they've done in the past. They got Chris Paul because they knew that he wasn't going to take too many shots from Curry and would be a good playmaker. Even now, they got Buddy Hield, basically a Klay Thompson replacement. And then they didn't want DeMar DeRozan because he shoots too many mid-range shots and doesn't play any defense, so he wouldn't fit their system. But a player they did want was Lauri Markkanen because he can stretch the floor and he's someone who would fit perfectly into their system. And they still got Draymond playing a small ball 5, even though he's clearly too old for that, and he just can't out-physical with the players that are at the center position. The issue is that they're still bought into their old system without making any adjustments. But if the Warriors want to give Curry one last real shot at a title, they need to do 2 things. 1, acknowledge that their old system is outdated. They should keep the elements that made it successful, but allow other players the autonomy to play to their strengths. 2, they need to be willing to part with young talent Atlanta star who can push them back into championship contention. If they can follow these steps, they have a real chance to send Curry off on a high note. But what do you think? Who should the Warriors target at the trade deadline, and which young players should they consider moving to get the right pieces? Tell me in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.